Have you been having issue with going to bed on time? Have you been having issue with maintaining your sleep? Have you been having issue with prolonging your sleep in terms of the duration? Have you been having issue with waking up late at night? Have you been having issue with the aspect of you not being able to maintain the sleep? Or you have been thinking, what exactly could be wrong? So this very video is actually for you. And on this very video, we want to talk about sleep hygiene. And to give this perspective, we're going to be dividing the discussion into those habits you need to put in place before bedtime. And then those are things that will be able to modify the sleep environment. And then we're going to talk about other additional tips that you need to know, as well as the common mistakes that people do that actually reduces the sleep quality or the sleep quantity, as well as the benefit of maintaining a good sleep hygiene. So let's dive into the discussion. So on what's sleep hygiene? Sleep hygiene is simply those practices that one would actually carry out or do in order to enhance or promote a better sleep, as well as the duration and consistency. So what are those habits that one needs to do? We'll take the first aspect, which is the pre-sleep habit. So you have to establish a consistent sleep routine. Have a particular time that you need to go to bed, in the sense that whatsoever you're doing, wherever you find yourself, this particular time I must be on bed, and nothing else should keep you off bed within that particular time frame. And then you should also gradually wind down with relaxing activities. What we simply mean is that start cutting down every other unnecessary activities. Even the necessary one, you should start cutting them down close to that time that you want to go to bed. You should do things such as reading, meditation, as well as yoga. These activities tend to enhance sleep quality as well as initiate the sleep. An instance, when you read a book that is boring, with this, it can easily initiate sleep. And then when you are meditating, along the way, there's possibility that you fall asleep. Yoga exercises, on the other hand, would help initiate the sleep. And then you should also avoid stimulating activities such as exercise and then gaming or watching television. There are a couple of exercises that would actually keep your body system hyperactive. And then on the other hand, you may be extremely exhausted, of which you will not be able to sleep at the end of the day. That's why at evening times, no matter the kind of sport you engage, at least by 6:37 you should have reduced that particular activity or exercise, especially those persons who are sporty in nature. Some sport activities does not enhance sleep quality, and so therefore if you are struggling with sleep, you should actually avoid those exercises close to late evenings so that your body will have sufficient time to relax. And then you should limit exposure to screens such as your phone, your tablets, and laptops at least an hour before bedtime, because television programs, phone, and other gadgets would only stimulate your reticular activating system, hence keeping you alert, and then would also reduce your sleep quality as well as the initiation of sleep. So, what are we saying in essence? Every gadget, be it phone, laptop, as well as tablet, you should actually do away with them at least an hour to your sleep time so that you can give you time to meditate, as we say earlier, or to do the reading aspect. And then you should avoid caffeine, nicotine, as well as heavy meals close to sleep time. There are some meal that actually reduces the quality of sleep as well as prolong the period for which sleep would have been initiated. So what are we saying in essence? Food, mostly heavy meals close to sleep hours, would actually prolong the time for sleep initiation and then reduce the quality of sleep because of the digestive activities that are ongoing. And then caffeine, on the other hand, will keep you alert and then hyperactive during sleep hours, as well as nicotine. So the next one we want to consider is those habits that would help enhance your sleep environment? Well, we have a lot of habits that would actually help to enhance your sleep environment. For instance, you need to create a dark and cool sleep environment. For some persons, they can't sleep in dark environment, so go with what works for you. Just like some persons, if they don't eat heavily, they will not fall asleep. We would not really advise for the aspect of you eating heavily, because you would actually keep your system hyperactive or working while you were supposed to be sleeping during the night. All right, so just eat in moderation, maintain moderation in your eating habit. And then for the light aspect, if you are that person that is already used to the light, then what we'll say, make it a bit dimmer instead of making do of bright light. It will not enhance your sleep. And then the environment should be cool enough, because with a hot environment you will not be able to sleep. Then invest in a comfortable mattress as well as pillows, because there are certain mattress you lie on your body before you wake up, you have pains and so on, which can even prolong for days. So invest in getting a better quality mattress. It will go a long way to enhance your sleep, as well as the pillows. Then also use blackout curtains, because this will help to reduce your attention in other rooms and what are actually ongoing there. And then earplugs can be used for persons who are easily distracted with noise, especially persons who live with other persons that stay with them. And then, or a white noise machine if necessary. For this, there are actually machines that actually help to enhance sleep. So we also have the aspect where you need to remove electronic devices, as we said earlier, as well as clutter from the bedroom. So you are not supposed to bring your gadgets close to your bed, because you can easily continue the use of that gadget. You can have one thing or the other that comes to your mind, and then off you go to your bed. Before you know, you're already counting in hours on those gadgets. So we want to talk about the sleep routine. It's necessary, as we said earlier, to create a sleep routine. Create a particular time, that this time you must go to bed. So how do you create it? Develop a calming bedtime routine. So you should actually take a warm bath for persons that actually. So develop a sleep routine. When we mean a sleep routine, we simply mean those activities that you must consistently put in place to enhance and better your sleep quality, the quantity, as well as the consistency and the duration. All right. For instance, warm bath, cold bath, as well as journaling. For some persons, cold bath works well for them, because it helps to give the body a soothing tone. And then for some persons, warm bath is necessary for them, because it helps, in the other hand, to enhance blood circulation around the body. And also, just as in the cold bath, it also helps to soothe in terms of where you have body pains and so on. It will reduce those intensity of the body pain. And then journaling, for some person, you have to have a particular book close by where you can document the number of hours you slept. For instance, today, the next day, how many hours did you sleep? It will help you to checkmate if you're actually sleeping fine. And then you also have to also go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. When you consistently do this thing, your body will get used to it, because sleep is actually an habit that is developed over time. And where you continuously keep yourself prolonged into the night, your body will get used to that particular habit. Okay. Then you also limit sleep disruptions such as pets and children. So those things should be actually put away. That's why you need to ensure that your children go to bed before you, so that they don't come to distract you. Possibly, it's even recommended that you have a separate room, especially when you're having issues with sleep, so that all your children, you have instructed that you want to go to sleep, nobody should distract you during that time, except it is actually in cases of emergency. All right. So what are those other additional tips you should do? Get a morning sunlight exposure. get a morning sunlight exposure to regulate the circadian rhythm. What do we mean by circadian rhythm? It's actually that rhythm that controls your sleep wake activities, all right? That's why I have persons who move across regions of different time zone. They'll have issues with jet lag in the sense that their body tries to adjust to the new time zone they find themselves. For the first few period, they will be finding it challenging to sleep. So what are we saying in essence? For this kind of persons, we advise that they get morning sunlight exposures so that with the absorption of vitamin D, it will help to stimulate the release of melatonin, which is actually responsible for sleep because melatonin is that very hormone that enhances your sleep. All right, having understood this, avoid using electronic devices in bed as we said earlier. Try relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation. For instance, massages could actually help in most cases. And then consider keeping a sleep diary as we said earlier to track your progress. And then before we go to those common mistakes, know that sleep is actually measured mostly in three major ways. One is the quality, two is the quantity, and three is the consistency. What mean the quality? The quality simply means how refreshed do you feel when you sleep or take a rest? How refreshed do you feel at the end of the day? So if you are not refreshed, you don't feel refreshed, you still feel tired, you still feel those body pains, then it simply implies that your sleep quality is reduced or you're having issues with the sleep quality. Then the quantity simply means what is that duration you slept? You get? So if you have issues with sleeping longer, of which the standard recommendation is 8 hours, at least 6 to 8 hours, it will give you a good quantity of sleep. So if you have issues with that, it simply means that your quantity of sleep is reduced. Consistency in the sense that you don't have a fixed time for sleeping. So some persons can tell you, I will be on bed for a longer time, and most time 1, 2 a.m. is when I find myself sleeping. And some people will tell you, I go to bed by 9, and once it's 1 o'clock, I'm already up. And that will continue till. And some people will tell you, because I have exam, or because I have this, or because of this, or because of stress, it actually makes me, I don't have a particular time I go to bed. If you don't have a particular time, it will also affect either the quantity or the quality of sleep you assume. On the other hand, the most important of them is actually the aspect of the quality. All right, because you can spend 2 hours and sleep, and as long as the quality is okay, it's fine compared to you sleeping 10 hours and then the quality is nothing to write home about. All right, so the quality should be the most important aspect, and if you take away other things we have mentioned, the quality would actually increase. For instance, not eating late night, as well as not taking caffeines or nicotine substances close to time of your bed, then keeping your gadgets away, television and so on programs should be put off. Then you try as much as possible not to eat heavily before bedtime. And then exercises that are extremely strenuous should be avoided close to late evenings. And then, what are those common mistakes that people do that actually reduces the quality of sleep that they actually assume? We have one, irregular sleep schedule, as we said earlier. If you don't have a particular time you go to bed and when you wake up, you cannot actually keep account of the number of hours you sleep. You can also give account of if your sleep is actually better or not, and you will not know where to actually adjust on. And then consuming caffeine or nicotine before bedtime would not initiate the sleep or maintain the sleep, because caffeine and nicotine are actually stimulants and they will only help to keep you alert across the night. And then you also the use of electronic devices in bed. So for some persons, you can see them, they go to bed with their phones and they'll spend good amount of hours on their screen. This will not actually enhance your sleep. You will not even aid the initiation of sleep. And then not creating a sleep conducive environment would also reduce either your sleep quality or your sleep quantity. Some persons even are used to the habit of engaging in stimulating activity before bedtime. For instance, they keep on discussions for long hours or duration into the night, and this will not aid the initiation or maintenance of sleep. So all discussions should at least 1 hour before bedtime. You should have a particular time that is your time of going to bed. 1 hour before then, every discussion should have been ended or concluded. All right, having understood this, what are the benefits of a good sleep hygiene? For the benefits, there are a lot of them. They're actually enormous. One of it is that it improves the sleep quality. If you put these practices into perspective, your sleep quality will be enhanced. As I said earlier, the most important aspect of measuring sleep is the quality of sleep. Because if you are not refreshed, you either be lethargic or confused across the day. You find yourself missing details, having issue with keeping consistency with details, or getting easily aggressive or irritated with things around you. So the next one is that it increases your energy levels. You find out that you feel refreshed to engage in any task that is ahead of you, and then it enhances your cognitive functioning. As I said, some persons you find yourself sleeping even on duty because you didn't sleep well at night. So the tasks you were supposed to be carrying out, you can't carry it out with effectiveness. And then better mood regulation. For some persons, as I said earlier, if they don't sleep well, they can have issues with their mood. For instance, becoming easily irritated with things, or they find themselves depressed across the day, or any issue thing, any little thing can actually find them either irritated or abusing other persons or getting angry with every little thing that comes their way. And so, what are we also saying? If you actually have a good sleep hygiene pattern or habit, it will also help in reducing the risk of sleep disorders and chronic diseases. So, for those persons who may want to ask, what are those sleep disorders? What are those other factors that can actually reduce one's sleep? Indeed, there are a couple of factors. They are actually complex in nature. For instance, we have the insomnia, which is inability to either initiate sleep, maintain sleep, or have a good quality of sleep. And then we have hormonal issues such as that concerns the melatonin secretion in the system. So when your melatonin level is reduced, you have issue with sleep. Other disease conditions such as hyperthyroidism, um, hypothyroidism can affect one's sleep. Other conditions, such as even malaria, could also reduce the sleep quality, as well as other advanced diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and so on. A couple of them may not allow you sleep very well, especially the headache that comes, that the migraine headache that comes in hypertension. So, but we are going to go into details of those sleep disorders on another clip or another video. So please try to check up when that particular video drop. And also for more emphasis and then to get a broader view about this very sleep hygiene we're talking about, you can make reference to the National Sleep Foundation as well as the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. And then you can also check the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on sleep and sleep disorders. It will actually give you a broader enlightenment on the issues of sleep. And also remember that establishing a good sleep hygiene practices takes time and effort, but it is worth it for better sleep and overall well-being. So if you actually and try to put these practices in place, at the later run, it will benefit you in several dimensions of life, especially at your workplace. You'll be acting effectively, and in your relationship, you will not be having strains such as you being easily irritated or angered. So, if this video is actually useful to you, why not give it a thumbs up? And then, if you are yet to subscribe, why not subscribe? I look forward to that very moment where this very channel becomes your most favorite click. And for now, I would say thank you for coming to the end of this very video. Thank you, stay blessed, and see you on my next video.